Hello everyone. Today we are taking part 2 of the chapter Coordinate Geometry of class 9th standard. So, first topic is Cartesian system. So what is Cartesian system? The system used for describing the position of a point in a plane with reference to two mutually perpendicular lines is known as the Cartesian system. See, we have already discussed that if in a plane we want to find out the position of a point or an object, we need two mutually perpendicular lines. Same here, the system which we are using to find or describe the position of a point, okay, and with reference to two mutually perpendicular line is known as the Cartesian system. Now here you can see this is a line, it is a horizontal line, and x dash named as x dash, and it is a vertical line y dash, and it is O, it is a point of intersection of these two perpendicular lines. So in a Cartesian system, horizontal line x dash is known as x-axis. So this x dash, this horizontal line is known as x-axis of the Cartesian plane. The vertical line y dash is called the y-axis of the Cartesian plane. So this line y dash, it is known as the y-axis of the Cartesian plane. And the point of intersection of these two axes is called the origin. So you can see this point, this is the point of intersection of these two perpendicular lines. This is known as the origin. Now you can see this is our Cartesian system. Here this is x dash, that is x-axis, and y dash vertical line, this is y-axis, and O is the point of intersection. Now all the positive numbers lie on the direction along OX and OY. The direction along OX and OY. Now you will see x dash is the x-axis and y dash is the y-axis. So this x-axis x dash is divided into two parts. One part is towards the right of the origin OX, and one part is towards the left of the origin, that is OX dash. So OX, here all the positive numbers lie. All the positive means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is written all the positive number lie on the direction along OX in the x-axis, and in the y-axis all the positive numbers lie along OY. So this is OY here, OY. So here all the positive numbers will be there, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So on. So here OX and OY are called the positive directions of x-axis and y-axis respectively. That means this OX is the positive x-axis and this OY is the positive y-axis. Then all the negative numbers lie on the direction along OX dash and OY dash. Okay, now if you will see this OX dash, this direction, this is all negative numbers. Okay, -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. And same way in the y-axis OY dash, this contains all the negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, -4, so on. So OX dash and OY dash are called the negative directions of x-axis and y-axis. So for the x-axis, this is the positive x-axis and this is the negative x-axis. Okay, for y-axis, this is the positive y-axis and this is the negative y-axis. Now, our next topic is representation of point P in the Cartesian plane. Now we know what is a Cartesian plane. Cartesian plane is a plane in which we can find the position of a point with reference to the mutually perpendicular lines. Now here we are considering that there is a point P in the plane. Now let's see the plane. This is the horizontal axis x dash, so it is known as x-axis. This is the vertical line y dash. It is the y-axis of the plane, and this is the origin, point of intersection of these two perpendicular lines. Now we are considering that there is a point P in the plane. So this is a point P in the plane. Now the perpendicular distance from the y-axis measured along the x-axis. Now we will see the distance of this point from the y-axis. So from the y-axis, this is the y-axis, from the y-axis and measured along x-axis. Now we can see this is the direction of the x-axis. Okay, And so in this direction, we will find out the perpendicular distance from y-axis. This is known as the x coordinate or abscissa. So here this distance, this is known as x coordinate. This is written x and it is known as abscissa also. The same way the perpendicular distance from the x-axis measured along the y-axis. So here it is written perpendicular distance from x-axis. This is the x-axis. Now suppose this is the perpendicular distance from the x-axis and we are measuring it along the y-axis. This is the y-axis. Okay. This is known as the y-coordinate or ordinate also. So this distance is ordinate. In stating the coordinates of a point in the coordinate plane, the x-coordinate comes first, then the y-coordinates. So here, if we have to write the coordinates of the point P, the x-coordinate will come first. So what is the x-coordinate? X and y-coordinate is y. So this point will be xy. So here it is written xy. Okay, this is important. Whenever we are writing the coordinates of any point, we have to first write down the x-coordinate and then only we will write down the y-coordinate. Now, the origin O has zero distance from both the axes. Now, if you will see this point, this is the origin. Now, this origin distance from the x-axis is 0 and from the y-axis is also 0. That means its coordinates are 0, 0. This is also very important. What are the coordinates of origin? 0, 0. Why? Because its distance from the x-axis is 0 and its distance from the y-axis is also 0. And whenever we are writing the coordinates, first should be always x coordinate and second should be y coordinate. Now our next topic is quadrants. What are the quadrants? See, the axis xx dash and yy dash divides the plane into four parts. Now see, this is xx dash, y dash, this is the point of intersection. Now these two lines are dividing the plane into four parts. Suppose this is the first part, this is second part, third part and this is fourth part. We are getting four parts. These four parts are known as the quadrants, right? Now these quadrants are numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4 in anti-clockwise direction from OX. See, we have four quadrants now. But the numbering of the quadrants we cannot give according to our wish. Its numbering is fixed. So how to find its numbering? We have to start with the axis OX and we have to go in anti-clockwise direction. So this is OX. Now from OX we have to move in anti-clockwise direction. Suppose I am moving in anti-clockwise direction. I am reaching here first. So this is our quadrant number 1. Now from here also I am going anti-clockwise direction and I am reaching in this quadrant. This is quadrant number 2. Then again anti-clockwise I am reaching here. This is quadrant number 3. Then again anti-clockwise direction I am reaching here. This is quadrant number 4. And then again if I will move, I will reach quadrant number 1. So the quadrant number 1, 2, 3, 4. These quadrants are fixed. The numbering of these quadrants are fixed. We cannot change the numbering according to our wish. Okay. Then it is written, next thing is in quadrant XOY. Now you see which quadrant is XOY? XOY. That means quadrant number 1. Okay, this quadrant number 1 lies between OX and OY. So we are saying XOY. Now if you will see OX. This line contains all the positive numbers that we have discussed already, 1, 2 like this. It contains all the positive numbers. And OY also contains all the positive numbers. That means any point in quadrant 1 will have x coordinate positive and y coordinate also positive. And we know x coordinate we have to write first and y coordinate we have to write first, second. So here x coordinate is plus, y coordinate is also plus. So the coordinates of any point in the quadrant 1 will be plus plus. First will show the x coordinate always and second is showing the y coordinate. Now in quadrant number 2, that is x dash OY. Now x dash OY is this quadrant. Now in this quadrant, if we will see the x coordinate, we know here all are negative. But OY is always positive only. So x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is positive. So the any point in this quadrant will have the coordinate as minus and plus. Right? Now in quadrant number 3, that is x dash o y dash. Now x dash o y dash means this. Okay, this is x dash and this is o y dash. Now here x coordinate negative only and o y dash is also negative, contains all the negative points. So the coordinates will be x coordinate negative, y coordinate also negative. So negative, negative. And in the last quadrant, that is quadrant number 4, x, o, y dash. So here x, o, y dash, all the x coordinates are positive and all the y coordinates are negative. So x positive, y coordinate negative. So we are getting plus, first one is positive, second one is negative. So like this, we can write the points in any quadrant with the correct signs. So now let's discuss what all things we have discussed here. The plane consisting of the axis and the four quadrants is called the Cartesian plane, coordinate plane or xy plane. Okay, we know our Cartesian plane or coordinate plane, it consists of the axis. Axis means x-axis or y-axis, both the perpendicular lines, and from these two perpendicular lines we are getting the four quadrants. So the plane which consists of these are called Cartesian plane or coordinate plane or xy plane. The axes are called the coordinate axis. X-axis and y-axis, these are called the coordinate axis. X coordinate is called the abscissa. This we have discussed when we are writing the coordinates of any point. Suppose this is xy. So this x coordinate is called the abscissa and this y coordinate is called the ordinate. So these are some important points of this chapter.